Today I'm making a delicious 20-minute ragu. And when I say 20 minutes, I mean 20 minutes. This thing is gonna come together fast, so let's get right into it. I'm gonna start off with ground pork. This is 80% lean, 20% fat. We're gonna build a lot of flavor very quickly. So the first step is to get this pan nice and warm over here. And I'm gonna season this almost like I was seasoning a steak with salt and with ground fennel seed. Fennel, ground fennel especially, and pork are like a match of the gods. Just give this a nice flip and season both sides pretty deeply. My goal always in this step is to basically season the entire finished plate with salt right at the beginning. So we want plenty of salt on this pork. This pan is nice and hot, and we're just gonna give it a good pour of extra virgin olive oil. Nothing too fancy because of the high heat here. And then I'm just gonna gently put this right in. You wanna make sure to keep this in nice big chunks so it really kind of lightly browns and caramelizes. You could turn it down to a medium heat while you work on your vegetables. And because we've already got that fennel flavor, we're just gonna rely on 3 carrot, half an onion, and 2 garlic cloves. Let's start with the garlic here. Give them a little smash to help that skin come off. And then just give these a nice slice. Does not need to be minced at all. I just like to give them a slice. And this is all gonna go in at the same time, so no need to separate. As far as the onion, split it right in half, and then just a nice easy dice here. And I do like to mince the onion up pretty fine, and then kind of keep the carrots in a bigger chunk, but nothing too fancy. Let's take a look at our pork here. This is starting to look really nice, lightly browned, so just give it a flip. You can see this has just got some beautiful golden brown color on there. Peel the carrot. I like to keep this in nice big chunks so it gets some beautiful texture in the finished sauce. Just give these a little dice. This is a rustic sauce. It is definitely not a sauce that you should feel like you need to baby with perfect cuts or anything like that. Because of the quick cook time on this, what's gonna lack here is sweetness from a very slowly simmered tomato. And what we're doing is we're making up for that lack of cook time by adding extra onions and carrots, which really bring a tremendous amount of the sugars that ultimately really kind of round out a sauce like this. So you can see this is a pretty big pile, and that is intentional. So our pork is looking like a really beautiful golden brown, and that's developed so much flavor. So break it all up, and that fennel smell, it's spectacular. I'm gonna turn the heat up. We're not really looking for any additional browning or anything here. We just wanna cook that pork all the way through. This is all that you need. It's starting to let out some of its fat. There is no more raw pork in there. It's ready to go. Dump this pork out into a bowl. And then right into this same pot, we're just gonna go in all of the veg in at the same time. There's no such thing as a pasta sauce with too much olive oil, so a little extra will help sweat out all of those delicious flavors, and it will also add flavor of its own. We want some light caramelization on these vegetables to add extra flavor, but turn it down just a hair, just to make sure everything gets soft. These carrots are still gonna have really nice texture, but you wanna make sure that that onion is very soft. In goes the pork again, as well as maybe a cup, 2 cups of red wine. I'm using a Nero, but I was looking for a Barolo. I think a Barolo would be delightful with this sauce. You really want to cook this down until there's almost no wine left. So heat all the way up and just keep reducing this for just a minute or so. That's looking great. That wine is really cooked down. It's almost syrupy. There's very little left, which means that the final element, or almost final element of this sauce can go in, which is tomato passata, about a cup of tomato. And this does not take much cooking at all. You really just want to cook this down for maybe 3 or 4 minutes while you're cooking your pasta until it's nice and thick, and that's it. And that is just a beautiful, simple ragu. It's got a lot of depth of flavor because of the wine and the fennel. And the final element of this sauce is some fresh oregano. Really adds so much depth to a sauce like this. I'm just gonna run my knife through. I'm gonna add a little nice finishing oil, but use what you got. I'm gonna reset and cook some noodles. And then I'm gonna eat this. Got a pot of water here, and Because it's a really important part of the sauce, you want to make sure you season it correctly. And this is one of those things about pasta water that I feel like nobody communicates very well, so I'm gonna try to communicate it here. You want to add salt just until the pasta tastes almost like a water soup. You want it to taste itself perfectly seasoned. You do not want it to taste like the ocean or some of those other things you hear. There's a time and a place for that, but pasta water is not that time or place. Pasta choice, pappardelle, 100%. Love this Japanese noodle basket. It's a life changer. Cook it according to the package instructions, minus 1 minute. These are almost cooked, just giving these a little stir. And now let's finish this up. So pull this out, and you want plenty of that pasta water. Really go big on the pasta water. This is looking and smelling delightful. About 1.5 cups of pasta water. And then get that heat back on. And you want to just simmer this for a minute or two, just to really meld those flavors. And you get that kind of like starch exchange between the sauce and those little nooks and crannies on the edge of the noodles. And it also pulls out some of that starch into the sauce to thicken it. This is like recording land, so time is not what it seems. But all said, even with me filming this thing has come together in 21 minutes. Not bad for a delicious and deep pasta sauce. It's time to plate, and when it comes to pasta, the question has always been plate or bowl. I gotta say, I go plate every time because you get that extra surface area for more cheese. Lots of parm or pecorino. Either would be delicious with this, but whatever you use, don't be shy. And I'm gonna just give this a little dusting of fennel seed right at the end. And that's it. Oh, that's so good. Getting a plate of pasta like this in 20 minutes is hard to beat. You should definitely give this one a shot. Let me know what you think, and I will see you soon.